How's it going, everybody? So today's video is actually going to be a very important one. It's actually going to be probably, it's titled, I'm going to title it, excuse me, I'm going to title it, how bad did it get for me, like anxiety disorder, how bad did it get for me, the dark truth. Because I need to let people know how bad it did get for me, so then people think like maybe, oh, his recovery probably wasn't as bad as me. I was like the worst, guys. We all think we're the worst, but as bad as an anxiety disorder can get, I was. So I feel the need to speak about how bad it got for me. So I need to reassure people who are following me and looking for advice. I need to let them know that this is what I went through, how bad it got for me, and give them hope that if I can recover, you can recover. Another thing I wanted to say, guys, I was having a chat with someone earlier, and it's that, like, I had this all started 10 years ago for me. There was a lot on anxiety in books, but it took me like 6-7 years to find even clear weeks, which is a great method. And now there's so many amazing anxiety channels about agoraphobia and panic attacks and how to approach it the right way for recovery. There's so many. But back then, what I want to say is, now, if you're going through an anxiety disorder, your prognosis, your recovery is going to be way more achievable than it was like a couple of years back. So there's way more people recovering from this disorder than there ever was before, I think. So there's some light and there's some hope for people, that not to give up, to keep struggling with this for another little while, but you'll break out of it, So how bad it got for me, the dark truth, guys. I always, when I speak to the camera, I never look down, I never have anything written, I just speak. It never takes me long to make a video. But I took a bit of time, because again I had to revert my mind back to how it all started 10 years ago, and leading up to my last year's recovery, how the behaviours changed, and how it managed to keep me stuck, how they progressively got worse, I guess. So I always focus, but now I'm going to be looking up and down, so just bear with me. I just have my notes in front of me because I need to speak about the bullet points, because there's so many things that, and it's just, guys, this is just explaining the behavioural effects excuse me, this is just explaining the behavioural effects of going through an anxiety disorder or panic disorder and stuff like that. The behaviours you pick up from it, the behaviours is what keeps you stuck, alright? So how bad did it get for me? There's no kind of order here. Like, sometimes I'm going to speak like I called ambulance to my house. That never happened at the start. That was a progressive thing, that maybe in my 7th year of going through this, I started like, oh no, I started calling ambulance to my house. But so there's no list, there's no order going from how my behaviours went from the start of the 4th year to the 10th year. I'm just speaking about everything, just all in one. So just bear with me, guys. Yeah, so let's start with things I missed out on. I think this is like really hit me now, on the amount of things I missed out on. Like, I remember Mother's Days, we celebrate Mother's Day. All my little siblings, so I'm the oldest. I have 2 younger siblings, or 3 younger siblings, 2 younger brothers and 1 younger sister. Going out for Mother's Day. And we'd also have other family members like aunties and cousins and stuff like that, and going out celebrating Mother's Day. About 20, big gang of us would go out, big family we have, loving family, great family. We'd all go out, and I'd be the only one to say, like, I'm feeling sick, really. Just wouldn't want to go out and sit in a restaurant, just didn't want that panic, didn't want to sit in the car for half an hour journey to go out, stayed at home. There was one specific day where, got all dressed up, and, it's hard to talk about sometimes, because I got all dressed up, was telling everyone, yeah, I'm gonna go, I'll see you there, and stuff like that. Everybody left to go, and I was like, meet us up there, meet us in the restaurant. No, immediately just texted my mum and said, listen, I'm not feeling the best, I'm not going up. Stayed in, started to cry, all that stuff, feeling sorry for myself. So, missing out on things. Birthdays, missing out on birthdays, brother's birthday, sister's birthday, mum's birthday. Just not going places where all my family are going, having fun. A big one for me was missing my godchild's christening, Harper, you know, when she was born 4 years ago. My cousin Darren asked me to be godfather. I was so happy. And I couldn't even go to see her christening, guys, because I was in the worst. That was 4 years ago. I was in the worst pit of anxiety. There's no way I was going to stand there and sit in a church, like, just feeling like crap. So that's it. Big things I missed out on, guys. It's hard missing out on them things. It's, you know, that's why you feel a little bit depressed when you're very depressed going through this kind of stuff, you know. What else did I do? I think at the start, called loved ones to come home to reassure me from panic attacks. Someone who was like 21, 22 going through at the start. Let's say my mum would be out having a meal with her partner. I'd call and say, "Mum, you have to come home, like, seriously, something's wrong. You know, I don't feel right, my heart." And of course my mum would come home. Very unfair, you know, but it's a mother's job, isn't it, guys, unfortunately. You know, a mother would do anything for her son or daughter. A father would do anything for their son and daughter. And that's family, guys. You know, I was very blessed to have a mother like that with support, you know. A lot of people don't have that. So yeah, I'd be calling me mum and all. And, you know, I was only young, guys, you know. At the start, I just didn't know what the hell was wrong with me, so I'd seek any reassurance I could get. Anyway, another one is I hated the sun. I hated the good weather. Hated the good weather because everyone was out. And I just got into such a habit of, I enjoyed dark, dull, rainy days. You know, I enjoyed those days because I could stay in and, you know, didn't have to do much and, you know, didn't feel like you're missing out on anything. I just hated sunny days because it would also bring up anxiety symptoms. If I went out, you know, I'd be boiling hot and sweating and then, you know, it turns into a panic attack, like, you know, so I hated sunny days. I just associated sun with anxiety. You know, that crazy one, guys. This is kind of in my 7th year. I'm really struggling with it now, guys. Started calling ambulances to my house, guys. Again, this isn't a medical emergency. It's not a medical emergency. So don't be fearing when I speak about ambulances that, you know, it was just something that I'd done for reassurance, guys. It was all reassurance. Get me up there and tell me I'm okay and then see you later back home. There was one specific night, guys, I stayed up there. I slept on one of the couches in the hospital. I went up to the hospital in the ambulance and I was waiting for ages, and there was a little compartment in the ER, the A&E. I slept in it, guys, and the next morning I just left and just came home, like, but I slept in the fucking hospital. Anyway, so yeah. What else did I do? Another one was I brought my bike everywhere. I remember when you know, I love cycling, guys. I love my bike, you know. I love going on long cycles, and, you know, it's one of the things that really, like, for exercise, it's fantastic and just so refreshing. But I did go through a tough time with my bike where I'd bring the fucking thing everywhere because it was an easy escape for me. It was like an apparatus, you know. I wouldn't go anywhere without the bloody thing. So a bike, yeah, another stupid fucking behaviour that we anxiety disorder, we do it to protect us, to keep us safe. And really it's just reinforcing this habit that there's something wrong. Calling ambulances, bringing their bike places, calling people, skipping things, not going out in the sun. Fuck. Like, that's why panic attacks are so, when you're forced to having them, and it's like, oh, like that horrible. It makes you gladly stop doing these things. Like, this couldn't be worse than having the panic attack, but in reality, it's the totally opposite. Anyway, we'll continue on. I quit playing football. I thought I was going to have a heart attack on the pitch. And to be honest, guys, I was a fabulous footballer, you know. I was very talented. Probably could have got to a bit of a higher level. And, you know, I also had a great manager, you know. Mick was fantastic for me, and, you know, he really understood me. Great man, done everything for me. Always tried to get me back playing. And I did feel reassured when he was on. I wouldn't really play for any other manager. Always felt reassured of him being on the pitch, you know. I remember going over to him one of the days I was playing a football match, and he was obviously on the sideline, and I said, "Mick, if anything happens to me, like, can I come over to you if I have a panic attack?" And he was always like, yeah, no problem. He obviously knew, like, what was going to happen, so. But it was just having that reassurance. But I just basically packed in the football, guys, and can't be going around in football. Like, I'd be exhausted. Like, leading up to a football match, I wouldn't sleep that night really. I'd be going to football matches just exhausted, then having to play a match, like, you know, my mind was warped. Anyway guys, stop playing football, stop doing the thing I love. What else was, oh yeah, as it got worse, I wouldn't walk. For the last 2 years guys, I stayed in a 3 kilometre radius of Dublin, like just Donaghmede, Raini, Cabarrick, all these little zones, like a 3 kilometre. Didn't go past that for like 2 years. I think that's one of the hardest ones that hits home with me guys. How bad it really got for me. That was agoraphobia at its finest, you know. Agoraphobia is the fear of panic, like the fear of going out of your comfort zone. That's what agoraphobia is. You literally avoid everywhere because of panic. You think like, yeah, I'll get into that in more detail anyway about agoraphobia guys, because I need to get through this. I only have another 5 minutes left because that's the upload time. I can't go over it. I'm 11 minutes in, so wouldn't walk more than 3 kilometres from my home. That was a killer. I lost jobs and was unemployed for a couple of years. That was, goodness, speaks for itself, doesn't it? So I lost jobs and was unemployed for a couple of years. And what else do I have here? Got an obsession with going up to the hospital. Yeah, I went to, like, I'd go up in I'd actually cycle up near a hospital guys, yeah. And I was kind of working on a little project for myself, and there was a little cafe I'd stay in beside the hospital to do my work on the laptop, and I'd get a break from the anxiety. Because I was close, I was close to the hospital, so, oh man, it happens like I'm just there. It's fucking crazy, right? So I'd go up there, I'd go up to that cafe beside the hospital for a break away from the anxiety. Every morning I'd go up and I'd get on my bike and I'd have my stuff, my laptop, my lunch packed, cycle up, plonk myself down there for a couple of hours, and basically be like a working day for me, but I'm just beside the hospital doing laptop work. That was like an obsession then guys, you know, getting into that. Yeah, it was just in case, you know, when it happens. But yeah, another crazy behaviour with anxiety. Again, the brain seeking protection, isn't it, for nothing. So yeah, you can see how I was wiring my brain never to overcome anxiety. Look at everything I was doing on a daily basis, you know. Constantly going to like doctor's offices for reassurances, and you know, going up for checkups, like, oh, can you do me bloods, maybe there's something wrong, like maybe my heart again, and you know, fucking, yeah, the behavioural effects of panic disorder guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 bullet points there, because I've done 11 bullet points, but I know after this video in the next couple of days I'll think of another 11. But they were the first ones that came to my mind, and they were the main ones, yeah. So not embarrassed, not ashamed of it at all guys, but just that's what keeps us stuck in anxiety disorder. And the minute I started to eliminate them is when I started to heal, and I started to eliminate them very, very rapidly. And again, I'll repeat guys, you know, if I could go through all that for 10 years, have all those behaviours and overcome them within 4 to 5 months, hope is for people out there. That's why I want to share what I'm sharing guys. The hope, you know, the resurrection of your life. You know, get back, like I took my recovery to the next level. I'm now living in a different country. I couldn't travel, like I'm over in Paris, a beautiful city, living over here now guys. You know, that's taking recovery to the next level, and that's why I want to keep doing this guys. I've a minute left, so what'll I say? I think I'll start with saying, right, 60 seconds left. I'm gonna say that recovery these days compared to years ago is so way more achievable. Anxiety, panic attacks, agoraphobia is way more, the recovery is way more achievable than ever before guys. I don't know how I got them words out, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's easier to recover than ever before. There I said it. It's easier to recover now than ever before guys. 30 seconds left. I guess I'll finish up now guys. Yeah, I hope people get something from that, I really do. And that's it. Take it easy guys. God bless everyone.